Hi, Prince. So today I'm going to be doing your website review. So let me just get quickly rolling into this thing. So the first thing I noticed when I opened your website, let me just refresh for you again so that you see what I mean, is things kind of take time to load, especially the most important stuff, which is the text. So I know this is like a motion effect you guys were probably putting in place. But I would say, you don't need a lot of motion effects on websites, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is communication and communicating what it is you want them to get. So that's the first thing I would definitely say is you could reduce the motion effects. I know they look cool, but in terms of communication, for people who are just scrolling quickly, they want to get the stuff, like already it's not taking time to load. Yes, so you just want a nice seamless experience for people like me who are just coming to read quickly. Who are these guys and what are they doing? Yeah, so that's the first thing I noticed. The next thing I noticed was things like our services. You could just call this learn more instead of view more. And then also I noticed that I believe it was your YouTube wasn't working earlier when I came, but I think it's now working. I think you've just uploaded a new video right now. Yeah, so that's what I noticed, but I think right now it's working. So that's great. So the other one which I noticed wasn't working was the Instagram. So you could look into that. Yes, I haven't tested like whether your email newsletter is working, but you can just look into that because there's no way for me to know if it's working. So the other thing I also noticed was you did a very good thing going to use Calendly. Pretty cool thing. So the one thing I'll definitely say with Calendly is in the future, you can consider getting the Calendly Pro version just to improve your meeting show up rates. Because what happens is when you have the professional version of Calendly, you're able to put workflows. So workflows basically send you like an email autoresponder, and those ones can be customized. It's not just a bunch of those reminders, the static ones they send to everybody. In this particular case with workflows, you can be able to customize the message each person gets. So like in my case, what I tell people is like, go watch this video, blah, blah, all that stuff. So I'm able to customize the email and how it should come to each person. Number two, I'm able to use it to send that email as if it's coming from my Google Workspace account. So it has my company email address. So that's another thing. Number three, and this is now the one that really improves the show rates, is the SMS reminders. So in the future, you can consider getting that. I know right now you're just going. And by the way, let me tell you something before I proceed into the rest of this review. Good is good enough. If you already have something going, it's way better than saying, I need to polish this, I need to get it perfect before I can start doing my marketing. So just keep iterating, keep improving the website, but don't get stuck in terms of waiting for it to be perfect before you can do other stuff. So another thing, yes. So the other thing I noticed was you have your podcast here. I don't know why. Number two, it's not really working. So you could also look into that and how you can like remove this from here, maybe move it under resources. Yeah, that kind of thing. Now, before I leave this particular page, I would like to tell you something about copy, because the most important thing that the website here is lacking is the copy. So I want you to go and look into something known as the Pastor copywriting framework. Yeah, so look into that. Pastor is just spelled as pastor, like a pastor of a church. So pastor. So it basically stands for, the P stands for problem. The A stands for agitation, the S stands for solution, the T stands for, it fails me, but I'll come back to it in a second. Let me just look it up here. The T stands for testimonial, and the O stands for the offer, and the R stands for the response. So I want you to go look into this thing. Now, let me just give you a quick rough example so that you get to see where the website, where the copy on the website should kind of be versus where it is right now. So as an example, a random example, let's assume you have a high growth, we are targeting high growing companies, and you're targeting the business owners in these high growth companies. The thing with copywriting is you have to see the person you're writing to. You do not write to an audience, you write to a person with a name. So you could be writing, let's say, to Thomas, or to even a person you know, a real person you know, in a company somewhere who you would like them to be your client. Write all the copy on your website, on your emails, everything to that one person. That person is going to be replicated because there are going to be other people like him, and they're going to feel your words. So let's say this person, this business owner, used to be a small business owner, but now his business has exploded and he has been forced to expand. He has hired so many employees, gotten technology, softwares, all manner of stuff. But he's now losing money. He's not understanding why he's losing money, because before he was always able to pull a profit when he was small, but now that he has tripled or 10x'd his size, he's finding his profit has just doubled, maybe, so his margins have gone really down. So in that particular case, we now have a problem. So, hey, Bill, or hey, are you a company who used to be small, but you've had some sudden growth and now you have hired people and gotten software and all these things, and you're shocked that your profit margins have gone down? We help companies like yours increase their profitability by installing data solutions, finding where the problems, analyzing and finding where the gaps or the bottlenecks or the loopholes are within your organization, and giving you like detailed fixes of what you can do to maybe fix that particular problem, or giving you detailed solutions of what you can do to fix those problems. So that's how you'd actually phrase it. So that's your problem, right? There I've just stated the problem. Then I would go into agitation. So agitation would be like, did you find that when you are starting out the company, this was happening, but now you have more employees, you have tripled the number of employees, you are already paying for so many softwares and so many other service providers, and you can even go into a detailed story. So you just make that pain more painful, and then at that point, that's when you'll introduce now your solution. So here at eConsult Africa, we help companies like yours go from blah to blah, and then from there we'll introduce your testimonial, which can be, I know right now you may not have case studies, but you could look even into other stories online of how data has been used to really improve different companies, either profits or just overall improve them, the whole solution from they used data to find this issue that was existing in the company, which they didn't even have any idea. They thought the problem was here, kumbe the problem was actually here. And then they were able to use that to increase their profits or whatever it is, to reduce their losses or to reduce their costs or whatever it is you're trying to solve. And then from there, you will then go to your offer. So here at eConsult, this is what we do. We have these particular solutions. We come in and we help you to install your data systems. We train your employees on how to capture the right data. Then we go out and we analyze all the data we are collecting, and then we come up with we do like a diagnosis and come up with like the solution that needs to be done. And then from there, you go now into your response. So Bill, would you like to book a call so that you can find out where the gaps, the loopholes, or whatever it is in your company are? Click here to book a call. That is how the whole copy on the website goes. So if you have the copy done for your website and done properly, even designing it becomes very easy as well. So let's move on to the next thing. So I'll also mention you need to remove the podcast thing from under services. So you can remove that from here, and then under resources, I guess you can put it there. Either you can now let me just suggest something for you. You can either decide to get rid of the blog page, because I see you have nothing there. It's just a bunch of articles, but there's a better solution these days. In here, I'd actually even done for you something really quick. So you can just go to ChatGTP and come up with stuff, So this was me typing very quickly for you. Please write for me 20 blog headlines on data collection and integration, because I saw that's one of the things you offer. So ChatGTP came up with 20 potential blog articles I could write about one of your services. And you have many services, and you could even tell it write 50, And then what I did was I came here and I just write for me a blog article on the power of data collection and integration, unlocking insights for business success. So I took that from this one. this one article, I told it to write for me an article on that. Make it above 300 words, write it for business owners, write in an informal style. So it wrote for me an entire article. Mind you, I could have told it also to write in a more formal style. Okay, so here it goes again. So it's breaking it down into subheadlines, data collection, the foundation. It involves semantic gathering information such as that, the structured approach, blah, blah, blah. So it's writing for me an entire article. And you can see the speed at which it's writing this entire article. It's still writing, by the way. It's going to be done soon. And we have just written an entire blog article right here. Now, I would suggest giving ChatGPT a way to write a style. So that's why you notice for me, I told you to write in an informal style the first time around. So you could tell it to write in an informal style. You could tell it to write in a witty style, you know? So you can actually tell it how you want the article to be written. So you can actually do that and then go grab all those articles and come to your website, into your blog on the back end. Make sure you schedule the posts. Don't just come and decide, oh, I'm publishing. Because I went and sat down and within 1 hour, I got like 150 articles written. I'm going to come and I'm going to publish all of them today so that I'm very ahead. I would simply say, come up with a frequency for how you want to publish. If you decide you want to be doing 3 articles per day, that's fine. You schedule them. I believe Wix, like WordPress, has a way to schedule the posts. So you can schedule, you can tell it to publish these 3 today at this time, and that time, and then these 3 tomorrow at this time, that time, and then these 3, and so on. So in the next 100 days, you can actually have 300 articles lined up to be published, so that also Google does not just see you today with 300 articles and then tomorrow you're vamoosed and they don't take you so seriously. You know, you want them to say, hey, you're a regular publisher. So that's how you can also build authority with your blog and be able to write a lot of stuff. Of course, if you feel you want to write the articles yourself, that's great. If you want to hire someone else to write it, that's great. But that's just one option you can also consider using. So the other thing is the podcast. I know it can be very powerful because you get to meet with like decision makers. So that can obviously be very powerful because most of them may want to be featured in like a public platform. But I will leave that for you to decide because it can also be more time consuming to do podcasts. So now on the team page, I think you've seen about ChatGPT. You can actually get it to rewrite for you this entire article too. However, I think your article is not too bad. It's kind of okay. I say kind of because it's talking more about you and not talking about the business owners and how what you have here in terms of your qualifications can actually help them. So you could look into that once again with a pastor. Pastor is literally used to write everything, even your email campaigns, how you're going to write the entire copy for that email, how you're going to write even your own about page. It does not have to be like a CV, you know. Yeah, no, not really. Get into the mindset of like you're here to just market, sell, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, so you could look into that and also try and personalize it. Give us something personal about you, man. You know, tell us your story. Like maybe you like to golf or you like to do something else for fun or I don't know, something, you know. So it's maybe something personal too. That way you feel like we've broken through the ice of the man, you know, and the myth. So that's it. So I would look also into that. Now, I'm going to talk about the most important thing on your website, which is the case studies, which of course you're missing because as you told me, you don't have clients yet. I would say try and think of how you can create case studies quickly without you having to spend so much time on it. But have a way for you to be able to produce a lot of case studies. Like, are you able to produce, sorry, are you able to do like sample work for companies whose data is in the public domain? Then do it. You know, maybe you're able to get some government data and break it down for the rest of us mere mortals who don't know what's going on. maybe you can be able to break it down and tell us, oh, this means, after breaking all this data down, this means blah, you know. Or maybe you could take some public data on Safaricom and break it down for the rest of us on how Safaricom could be able to improve their profitability by 10% in 2023. Or I don't know if it's the 2023-2024 financial year, if they did XYZ, you know, based on maybe the data they have from the past year, you know, or how Safaricom left, I don't know, 10 billion in revenues on the table by not doing X, based on maybe the analysis of their public data that you've been able to do. So maybe you need to come up with some case studies or something, because that's going to be the most powerful thing that you can do. So here's why it's going to be powerful, because when I go to your homepage, it will be really cool if I could see the case studies. You know, like I don't go so far. I come somewhere and I see quickly the case studies somewhere very quickly, you know, so that it's pretty clear. It's like if I'm a business owner, that's going to hit me far more than anything else, you know. Like, let me even dare say this: your entire website could be just simply case studies, and you'll still come out on top. Like if this was just how Safaricom lost blah 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 on blah, read this case study, you know. I go in, I read, I'm like so intrigued. How did you guys? Then I see another company, and then I see another company, then I see another company, just different case studies. It's inevitable. I'm just going to feel these are the top guys who are also going to help me improve my business. You know, how ABC company was able to reduce or able to go from loss to profit, you know, something like that. That is really going to be the most powerful thing that you can do, you know. So once you also have those case studies, guess what? You're also going to use them in your email campaigns. If you notice, that's exactly what I've also done on our website. If you go to my website, you'll just see a lot of case studies that, since I actually started out years ago, I just made it the main thing. Like, you will go to the website. I mean, right now it's even better because I talk a bit more about me and that kind of stuff. But back in the day, it was just full of case studies and nothing, very little. It was case studies and call to action, you know, like contact me here. Basically, that was it. So I would also say the same thing for you. Consider that as well. Figure out how to do the case studies. Number two, I use all of my case studies on the email campaigns. In fact, these days I even put so many on the email campaigns, I forget to put them on the website. But the case studies are so important because I'm going to use them there as well. Another thing also, and this is really cool, if you write the case studies on your website, guess what happens? You're able to take that same article you just wrote, use it in your email campaign. You could literally copy and paste it there. Then you can take that same article and record a YouTube video as you're reading the article and produce YouTube videos. And the title is just going to be the same. You know, on your website, you have a case study. On your YouTube, you have a video you've produced on that thing. And then on your email, you have the same thing that you wrote as well. So case studies are the most important thing you can actually do. Now, in the future, you could also change the layout. Like I said, when I started, I believe I said this: good is good enough. Don't get too caught up right now in trying to redo everything and changing the whole layout and everything. Good is good enough. Companies normally redesign their websites maybe in a year, 2 years or something, you know? So don't worry, you'll still have the opportunity to redesign it again. But when you do decide to redesign, I would ask you to consider looking at a company like McKinsey. Look at the way the layout looks. It feels very corporate-y, you know? So they have a certain style they were going for, and it feels very informational, very CEO-ish, you know? That's what they have. But your website, right now, it feels more like a software as a service company, you know? It doesn't quite feel, it feels more like you're selling a software. It feels more playful. Maybe that's the feel you are going for. If that's the feel you are going for, that's okay. But I'll also ask you to maybe look into like a company like this and how they did their website. And it feels very, very, very serious, very data-ish, I guess. Yeah, but it's also up to you, of course, because at the end of the day, the website is yours. and the look and the feel you're going for, that is mostly up to you and the brand you're trying to build. Yeah, so the icons feel a bit more playful. I think that's it for now. So I hope this review helped you. If you need anything else that I can help you with, please let me know. Yeah, other than that, have a good day. Bye-bye.